welcome back to my channel and to a very exciting video. Today it's all about Kiki. You guys have been asking for some more puppy content, so I thought today I would do a full puppy day in the life and show you her routine, show you what she eats, when she sleeps, how we walk her, and also give you all of the tips that I've learned since we got her. She's about 15 weeks old now, so I could probably start saying she's nearly 4 months old, but we got her when she was just 8 or 9 weeks, and I feel like we've learned so much. I also read so many books. We've had a dog trainer as well, so it's been a huge undertaking and responsibility, but we just are so in love with her. But I feel like we've learned a lot, so I'm definitely going to share all of my tips in today's video. And before we do get into the routine, I wanted to let you know that today's video is also a collab with my friend Emma. She's also known as the Brummy Mummy of 2 here on YouTube, and we got puppies at a very similar time. So her puppy's slightly younger, I think, and it's half Shih Tzu and half Bichon Frise, but it is the cutest little fluff ball. They've called her Margot, and she's just adorable. And Emma's actually had a dog before this puppy, so I feel like she's more of like a seasoned dog mum. She knows so much about dogs as well, so she's going to be also doing a puppy day in the life and her tips as well. So definitely go and check out her channel. And besides the puppy stuff, that she does amazing hauls, vlogs. She's also obsessed with Disney and Christmas, so I think you guys will really like her. So I'll link her channel in the description down below. Go over, say hi, subscribe, tell her that I sent you as well, and you can also see her little adorable puppy. But I think we'll just get into it now. I'll show you what we did first thing in the morning, and then I'm gonna take her on a little walk, and I'll take you with me. So we tend to come downstairs anywhere between 6:30 and 7 a.m. in the morning. It's actually normally the kids who wake up before the dog, but no matter what time we come down, she is super excited to see us. So we let her out of the crate and she tries to give everyone loads of love, but I'm very mindful that she probably really needs a wee. So I'll swoop her up, take her outside, she'll have a quick wee, and then she'll run back in and give everyone loads of love. She doesn't normally tend to do a number 2 until after she's eaten breakfast. I don't know if this is too much information, but that kind of tends to be her routine. She'll run out, then have a breakfast, and then need to go out again after that. But yeah, she's just really, really loving. Like every morning she acts like it's like the first time she's ever seen you, or it's been forever since she's seen you. She's super loving and just the cutest little thing. So she'll just give everyone lots of cuddles, and then I'll kind of go into the kitchen and get her breakfast. So when she was very little, she would only have kibble dry, but now that she's a bit older, I actually mix her kibble with some wet food as well, and she seems to like that. I've tried a couple of different subscription services, and I really like that you can kind of put all of her details and weight in, and then the food that she needs just arrives, and it tells you exactly what portions to give her, and I find that that's like a nice easy way to follow it, so I quite like that. So I'm just going to mix up her food. And I think with puppies, because they have quite small tummies, you're supposed to put down food 3 times a day. But with this amount of food that I'm showing you now, this will actually last her for breakfast and lunch. I talk about it a bit later on in this video, but she is quite the fussy little eater. So I'll talk more about that. But for now, this is her breakfast. So she'll have some of that and a drink of water. And after that, she'll normally play with the kids. And it's so nice that they are around before they go to school, because she has loads of energy, but they love to play with her. And right now she's actually chewing a chew. Often she'll save them and hide them in her bed and get them out later on. So once she's played with the boys, I'll then take her out to go to the toilet again. And you guys are probably going to laugh, but I wanted to show you my dog shoes. This is what I take her out wearing. I love them so much. They're fleece lined Crocs. My friend got me them and I just love them so much. But anyway, we currently have a bit of a funny setup. We're having building work done, and at the moment our back door isn't accessible, so I actually have to take her out the front, take her all the way around. So it's not ideal, but we will have access again just next week. So then she'll go to the toilet, and then we'll come back in, and she'll pretty much beg the boys for breakfast. It's so funny. She's worked out who is an easy easy target. So Fraser is the most likely to give her a couple of Cheerios. So she'll literally sit near him, and she seems to love him because of it as well. But then the boys go off to school, and then we do a dog walk. Right, so I'm going to take Kiki on her walk now, so I thought I would show you like what I bring or what I think about before we go on a walk. We try to do it first thing every day. We just find that that is easier. If me or Matt does the school run and then me or Matt does the dog, like we try to get the kids and the dog done like first thing in the morning, then we can concentrate on the rest of the day. I walk her for about half an hour in the morning, but yesterday it was actually 45 minutes, so it just depends really. And I think when she's older, she can have 2 half-hour walks a day, like one in the morning and then one in the evening. So I think we'll probably do that in the summer, definitely. So before we go out, I've got her leash. I really like this leash. I just got it on Amazon, but it's obviously like a stretchy one, but it also has a bit here where you can put poo bags and treats as well. And then of course I always bring treats. We've been doing a lot of like puppy training and off the lead as well, so I really need her to know that I have a big pocket full of treats, so she'll come back to me. So I've been using these ones mostly. This one I got like a big pack on Amazon. They're puppy treats, chicken and salmon nibbles, or I've also got these ones, they're called Wag treats. And what I do, even though the puppy treats are tiny, I still break them up into 2 or 3 pieces, because I feel like she just needs a little something to get that positive like reinforcement when she does come back to me. So I'm gonna have a big one of these in my pocket, and then I also have this little water bottle that I got her on Amazon. I take this if we go out properly to a big park. You can fill this up with water, and it's really clever. There's a button and you can press it and it fills up the bowl bit with water so she can have a drink, but then you can press the button again and it will go back in. So that is really handy for if you're in the car or if you're on the go. But because I'm just going to take her out on our normal little run, I know she'll be okay to wait for a drink until we get back. Sometimes she tries to drink puddles and stuff, but I'm not going to take this today. And then also before we go, I fill up the Mud Daddy, which I'll show you in a sec, and leave a towel out as well. She gets so muddy. Like, it's probably the time of year, but also I think she's probably just always going to get really muddy, her feet and everything. So I was washing her in our kitchen sink when we got back from a walk, but it wasn't ideal, and eventually we will have a tap outside to wash her feet off. But in the meantime, I've got this thing called a Mud Daddy, which is really quite cool, so I'll show you that. So we're off on our dog walk, and she is off of the leash. She's kind of just running around but sticking close because she knows I've got the treats and everything. So every time she does come back to me, I do give her a little treat. It's really nerve-wracking to let her go off of the leash for the first time, but I had a few sessions with a dog trainer and he kind of gave me the confidence to let her off the leash in like quiet spaces. We're so lucky that we live like on a field which doesn't have public access, but they don't mind if the people who live here like walk around the edges of it. So lucky to have this space, and it's just the easiest way to walk her. Sometimes we do take her to bigger parks because obviously we want to socialize her with other dogs, but for the most part this is such a nice, easy, like beautiful place to come. And also I feel really safe with her off of the leash. Like, she doesn't run off, and actually the dog trainer said letting a dog off the leash is almost better the younger that they are, because they're so young they'll stick with you, like they're a bit more nervous and they know that they need you. So he kind of gave me the confidence to do it. So I actually didn't do it until I had a session with him, but she's doing so well with it. But on Sunday we did go to a busier park and I let her off the leash, and then a few joggers ran past and she kind of tried to follow them, so I did have to get her back, and we're working on recall and all of that kind of thing. But yeah, so this is normally what we do. So Kiki is our first proper family dog. I grew up with a Dalmatian and he was absolutely lovely but completely crazy, and she's obviously a different breed. We did loads of research, and I might talk about that a bit more when I get home. But also her nature is she, like, when we were looking at puppies, she was quite shy, she was quite calm, even though she was so young. So I don't know if, like, obviously you've got to be careful just letting a dog off of the leash. You got to feel like, I don't know, I just feel like she's actually quite shy and a little bit nervous, so I don't think she will just completely run off. So yeah, anyway, we're off on our walk and I'll show you a few like bits. She's doing zoomies at the moment, so I'll show you. Hello there. Hello. Okay, so I just put her on the leash for a minute because there was a bit where we needed to walk near the road. She definitely still needs some training on how to walk on the leash. So I'm gonna do that in the new year with the dog trainer as well. I know you can go to puppy school, and I did look into that. Because of her little like sweet personality, I just didn't know how it would go, me taking her to this really busy like puppy class. So I decided to go down a different route. But she's sniffing around, and something that I found quite interesting when I did meet with the dog trainer, he said if she's like full on sniffing something and you call her name and she doesn't come back, like you almost need to wait for her to stop sniffing, because I think when they are sniffing something it uses up like 60% of their brain or something crazy. So dogs have 300 million like receptors in their noses, whereas we have 6 million. So say if like we walked into a bakery, we'd smell like delicious cakes and everything. They would smell like the cakes, like the ingredients in the cakes, the perfume the woman's wearing, someone who's had a cigarette, like they'll smell literally everything. Smelling is a really massive thing for them. Like if a dog goes blind or deaf, like as long as they still have their smell, like they'll be okay. So when I do try to call her, I just try to wait for her to stop sniffing and like kind of put her head up, and then I go Kiki, and then she kind of like hears me more because less of her brain is taken up from the smells. But this is a really cute like woods. It's quite quiet as well, but then every now and then you do meet a few other dogs. So she's just running around, bless her. I think when I started telling people that I was thinking about getting a dog, lots of people were like, well, you know, you do have to walk them, like is a tie, and almost like in a bit of a negative way. But I would say like having to walk them is actually so nice, so good for your mental health. Like if I didn't have her, now that all the boys are at school, I could just probably sit in all day and just work, but she actually gets me out of the house. She's also a lovely fluff ball to like pet, and it's just really nice. I know it's going to get colder this winter and we're still going to have to walk her every day, but I actually just really enjoy like the fact that she makes me get out, and I'm lucky that I work from home and I can take her out for a quick walk if I need to. But friends of mine have like dog walkers as well. I think one of my friends just has a dog walker once a week, so like one day a week she doesn't have to if she doesn't feel like it. But yeah, I love her, and it's a beautiful day, which helps. It's a bit harder when it's raining. Are you eating rocks? Come on, Kiki. Stop eating rocks. So you just pump it. She's actually not too muddy today. You pump it, and then when you go like this, it like sprays out. So you can spray the little. Oh.
She really likes it.
She really loves it. There. She's like, I don't like that. Done. Okay. Okay, so we're back from our walk and she's had a little drink, and now I'm actually going to go out. I've got a beauty appointment. I'm only going to be about an hour, but I will put her into her little dog crate. She's crate trained, and basically every book that I read about getting a puppy seemed to be like crate train them. So we did, and it's actually been such a good thing. She really loves her crate. So when we first got her, on the first few days, I used to just hide little treats in her crate. So every time she went in there, she would find like a little treat. So it was giving her that like positive reinforcement, like this is a nice space. And also having the 3 boys means it's a nice place for her to go when she's had enough of them. It's like her safe space. So we said to the kids, like if she goes in there, you just leave her alone, like you don't put your hand in, just give her some space. So I feel like it's a real like safe haven for her. And I know she's very tired now from that walk. Here she is. So I'm pretty sure she's just gonna have a little sleep. So I'll put her in there. Sometimes I'll give her a little chew as well, but I'm only gonna be an hour, so I think she'll just have a snooze and then I'll be home. Hey Keeks. She does look comfy though, feel a bit mean. It doesn't look the most beautiful, but I got this crate on Amazon and then we just put a blanket over the top because I read that it's nice to like cover up the top and sides, so it's like a darker space and like a nice safe place. You can get really beautiful covers, and I think eventually, if she's still in it, then I think I might actually go for it. You can personalize them and make them lovely. And then inside, on the floor, we've got something called vet fleece. It's like a very absorbent layer, so if she did ever wee in there, it will soak it right up. But she's actually never had a wee or a poo in this crate. She's also got a hot water bottle. I put that in every night with her, and then she's got a little bed here and a blanket, and this is Lammy. So when she was brand new, we got this for her. It's a little soft toy that when you press it, it has a heartbeat. So when they're brand new and they're away from their siblings, it's really nice to have something that like has a heartbeat. A hot water bottle because she misses like the warmth of them, and then also if possible a blanket from her litter, so we did have that as well. So all in all, it's like a nice like cozy little space. She hides chews in here as well sometimes. So yeah. Love you. See you in a bit. So I'm back from my beauty treatment and Kiki was fine. She's just here now. I actually let her out, but now she's back just asleep on the sofa. And I have like, basically she didn't finish off her breakfast, so there's still food out, so she could have that for lunch. But the one thing I would say about her is she's a bit of a fussy eater. And I didn't realize this before we got her, but apparently Cavapoos, because of the poodle part of them, like they're well known for being quite fussy. So she doesn't often seem that bothered about her food. So I have started to try and just like put it down for half an hour and then take it away so she knows it's gonna go. And also something else I find that really helps is if I change her food regularly. I don't mean like change the brand, but change the flavor. So if she has turkey one day, the next day I'll try and do lamb, and then the next day I'll try and do salmon, and like basically she likes a bit of variety. I find that that really does work. But I'm confident like she's not gonna starve. It just, that was something that I wasn't expecting, because I just, like the dog that we had when I was growing up just literally ate anything ever. So when she like isn't bothered about her food, it's like a bit different for me. Anyway, I asked you guys on Instagram if you had any questions, and I was also going to share some tips and talk about why we chose the breed that we did. So maybe I'll start there. Basically my husband has pet allergies, so we actually didn't think we could ever get a dog. But then we stayed with our friends for the weekend and they had like a poodle mixed dog and he was fine. So then I was like, oh, amazing. Maybe we could get a hypoallergenic dog. I did so much research. I've watched hours and hours of YouTube videos about different dog breeds and why they are that way and why that's good and why that's not good. And in the end, it came down to either a Cavapoo, a Cockapoo, or a Maltipoo. So we liked all of those breeds, but then in the end I went for a Cavapoo because the Cavalier part of them is very loving, very calm, and very tolerant to young children. Like if she's literally like sleeping like this and one of the boys did happen to come over and pick her up, she would never be angry. She's just so good with the kids. So in the end we went for her. And because of the poodle part of her, she's also quite intelligent. So I feel like she's just like the perfect mix of loving and sweet nature and intelligence as well. She does all kinds of tricks already. The boys have taught her how to sit, how to paw. And that is a question that a few of you asked me. How are Matt's allergies now that we have her? So before we got her, we did borrow our friend's Cavapoo to see what he was like with them in the house and all over him. And he was fine. So we decided to go for it. But of course there was that little bit of worry, like is he going to be okay when they're here 24/7? But he's been completely fine, which is so good, because on the first day she licked his neck and his neck went a bit red and I was like, oh no, like is he going to be okay? But he's been totally fine. I think someone messaged me saying you can become like desensitized to them. So on the first day he was like, I'm a bit itchy, but he didn't know if it was like in his head or if it was like real. But now he's totally fine. He spends loads of time with her. She lays on him on the sofa and everything, and his allergies have been fine. Also had a few questions about how we found our breeder and how can you find a good one and how we got Kiki. So definitely do loads and loads of research when it comes to your breeder. Expect to go on waiting lists for the good ones, and trust your gut feeling as well when you do start looking around. We had a really good gut feeling when we looked at where Kiki was. We saw where she was staying, her siblings, met the mother, saw the father, like you can get references, and so we had a really good feeling. We did look at getting a rescue dog. We loved the show The Dog House, and we did look at that route, but it's quite difficult for us because we have 3 youngish children. My son at the time was 4, and a lot of the rescue dogs said that children needed to be 8 or 10 and up, and we knew we needed a hypoallergenic dog. So we could have gone down that route, but they said that we would have been waiting a long time to get a specific like Cavapoo that would be good with children, so it was quite tricky. So in the end, we did decide to get a puppy. Next up, let's talk about toileting, because I feel like that's quite a big thing when it comes to a puppy. So as soon as we got her home, she did have a few little accidents, but we took her out into the garden quite often, and if she ever did a wee or a number 2, we would give her a little treat or even kibble at the beginning, make a big fuss of her, get super excited, and really we were taking her out like every hour or so during the day. I did also get a bell like this and put this by the back door, and every time we walked outside with her, I would ding the bell, and then eventually she would kick it, and then we would know that she wanted to go out for a wee. But this bell sometimes would go like off a little bit or go missing because of the kids, so I actually much prefer this bell here. It's a bell that goes on your back door and it hangs down to the floor, so when she needs the toilet she can just hit it and it makes loads of noise so that you know that she sat there waiting. Because sometimes before we had that, she'd just kind of be sat at the door like looking out, and we wouldn't have like realized quick enough. But now she can just go up to the door, hit it, and then we know she needs to go out to the toilet and we let her out. Any little accidents that she has had hasn't been a huge issue. We're only keeping her downstairs in the house. We have a baby gate so that she can't go upstairs, and everything downstairs is wood floor, so she does have a little accident, we just clean it up. I don't make a fuss, I don't tell her off or say anything. I just go really over the top excited when she does a wee or a poo outside, but she's pretty much got it now. Something else that I worried about a lot and have had a few questions about is her sleep. So I read a book, I would really recommend it actually. It was called Easy Peasy Puppy Squeezy. I actually listened to the book while I was like cleaning up and stuff before we got her, and I really liked it. I felt like it was like gentle parenting for puppies, and it just made sense to me. And he talked a little bit about sleep in that, and that's why I decided to crate train and everything. But on night 1, she did whimper a bit. She was super tired because she had a really busy day with all of us. So I did like the treats all day in her crate. Then I did the hot water bottle. I had Lammy. I had loads of blankets. Like she loves dog blankets. I would say get lots of little, well, they don't even have to be dog blankets, like any kind of soft blankets will do. It's weird, like some of the dog blankets on Amazon are more expensive than just like a baby blanket, but they're the same thing. Anyway, so we were all like set up, put the blanket over top of her crate and everything, and like tucked her in and walked away. And she did whimper for about 4 minutes. I counted it on the clock, and then she went to sleep and she slept through. I set my alarm for 5 a.m, but she probably would have slept even later. But I got up at 5 and took her outside and everything. I was worried because a few people were like, oh, it's worse than having a newborn. And my newborns used to wake up every 2 hours, and I was thinking, how can it be worse? But she actually slept through from the beginning. As I said, she was 8 or 9 weeks old. So her sleep, then she whimpered again on the 2nd night, but she only cried for the first 2 nights in her crate, and then she's been fine ever since. She sleeps till 7 a.m. now, but often will come down at 6:30, like if the kids are up early, and she doesn't mind, she's fine. So she's really good in terms of sleep. But the dog trainer that we have said that she is a good breed for sleep. Like some dogs, like he was saying, like bigger dogs, some of them like can cry a little bit for like 10 nights before they like properly sleep through. So I think do your research. It does depend on the breed that you have. And then someone else asked me about teething and chewing, and she's quite good. Like sometimes she'll bite my fingers or the kids' fingers, but it feels like quite soft, almost like a little love bite. But then sometimes she can get really bitey, and then I think she is teething. Or I have also noticed when she gets a little bit crazy and bitey, she does need a number 2. So I'll take her out if she does get a bit crazy sometimes. But I got this big box of chews, and I'll link below where I found them. This box absolutely stinks, but she loves them. So I think it was £20 and I got absolutely loads. And it's basically loads of chews like this. They take her ages to get through because she is only little and she's like a puppy, but she'll sit there chewing on them for a long time. And I got like a selection of different ones. And then when she is teething, I would also really recommend these chews. My friend told me about them. They're 100% Himalayan yak dog chews. They're really, really hard, and they take her ages to get through, and they're not messy at all. So she can sit there chewing on these for a long time and like relieving her teeth. And someone else said to me to freeze cut up carrots, and that they're really good when they're teething because it helps to like relieve the gums a little bit. So we've kind of been doing all the chews, and we did freeze carrots once, but she wasn't that interested, but I'm gonna keep like trying with that. And then in terms of toys, I got her this little doggy toy basket when we first got her, and I ordered a couple of toy bundles on Amazon. So you can be like rope toys for dogs, and you can get a bunch, and I found that it worked out cheaper to get a bunch of toys in like a bundle. But I find that she is a little bit like a baby. You know, you buy loads of baby toys, but they would rather play with like the kitchen whisk. She's a bit like that. I have all these toys for her, but she would rather play with a flip-flop or, you know, something like around the house, like a toy. So I have all of these, but unless you're really playing with her, she's not too interested. She does love a football. So when the boys go outside and play football, she really does like that. And she does like her little Kong. And I got this little spray. Let me find it. Yeah, so I got this from the pet shop. It's called Kong Easy Treat, and it's basically like a tasty thing. You spray it in the Kong, and then she bangs it around and tries to get it out. So she really does like that. And then in terms of grooming, because she is a hypoallergenic dog, I do take her to the groomers. I think it's recommended you take them like once every month or once every 6 weeks. She's only been once so far, but you can also groom them at home. So I got her this little grooming kit. I got this in, where was it? Matalan. And then I've got her doggy shampoo, which is a baby fresh one that I found on Amazon. I've also got a baby fresh doggy spray. So if she did ever really smell bad and I wanted to give her a little spray, I could, but to be honest, I haven't really needed to use it. Then I also have her hairbrush, and I try to brush her quite often because she does get a little bit like knotted. Here she is. Yeah. So I bought a proper like dog brush, but to be honest, I feel like any old like wet brush would work just as well on her. But she does quite like it, and sometimes she does get a little bit knotty. So I just brush her. You can do obviously this side, but I tend to use this one a bit more. And then I also got her little pads for cleaning her ears, and then little pads for cleaning her eyes. But I feel like these were a little bit unnecessary because the vet was like, you know, in the wild, they don't really like clean their ears out all the time. And I was like, fine, fair enough. And actually at the groomers, they clean their ears for them and cut their nails as well. And then the eye wipes, because she does sometimes get a little bit, it's not like goo, she just gets like tears there. So I like to clean her eyes, but I actually find that just like nice warm water works just as well. And the vet said you can also put a little bit of salt into the water, like salt water works really well for like the iron stains or something. So I don't actually think you need like the proper ones, but I just ordered them on Amazon thinking that I would. And then I even got a doggy set of scissors. I think eventually I would love to be able to like, you know, wash her and groom her myself, but at the moment I don't feel quite confident enough. But I got this because when she was very little, all the hair around her eyes got really, really long and she couldn't see that well. So I wanted to like trim them. So I waited for her to fall asleep, and then I kind of trimmed her like around her eyes a little bit. But let's pretty much everything, isn't it, Kiki? She's just found this and she's licking it. But the only other questions I got was about barking. But to be honest, I think that's still to come because she's not really found her voice yet. She's done a few little barks a few times. They're more like little like gruffs. But she's not like full-on barking yet or anything. She does have like a crazy hour in the evening, sometimes between like 8 and 9 p.m. and it's like after my kids have gone to bed and then she's going crazy and I'm like, what is going on? I feel like she's just getting out that last bit of energy before she like passes out for the evening. But so far we've just totally loved having her. I think that is one thing I actually didn't really expect. Here she is. I didn't expect to love her so much. She is such a part of the family, and we actually have booked to go away for Christmas for a few nights, and we booked it before we had her. So she's not supposed to be coming with us, but I'm actually trying to find a way for her to come with us now because I feel so sad leaving her around Christmas time. But yeah, she's the loveliest little girl, aren't you? Such a sweetheart. You've been such a good girl, haven't you? So yeah, I would just warn you, if you're thinking about getting a dog, like, people say it's like having a baby, and in a way it is because you love them so much. But a lot of people said, oh, it's harder than having a toddler or a newborn. And I would say it's way easier. Like, I don't know, she's quite predictable. She's quite chill, like she's quite happy. You can leave them. Like, you would never leave a child alone for an hour, would you, at home? So I think in a lot of ways it's much easier, but obviously it's a big responsibility, so you do need to think about that before you obviously get them. So tonight we're doing something a little bit different. The boys' carol concert is actually outdoors this year because of COVID and everything. So we're just gonna go outside of the church. So because it is outdoors, we're gonna take Kiki with us, and she's got a festive jumper on. So we're just eating dinner. But this person over here is a bit distracting. So I think we're going to have to start putting her in a crate for dinner because it's a bit unfair. She's eaten her food, haven't you? And she's not too noisy. She just kind of sits there, but you feel so bad, don't you? So I wanted to show you the baby gate that we've got so that Kiki can't get upstairs. It's like a soft one. And we put it up halfway on the stairs because we didn't want to ruin the way that the hallway looked as you walked in. So it's actually here, but often she'll end up sitting here waiting for us. But I actually wouldn't recommend this. I feel like it's a bit flimsy. Like if you had a toddler, I feel like my boys could have broken through this one. But it just kind of pulls back like that. And then we just go like this, and that's kind of keeping her from getting upstairs. Hopefully this is going to be a temporary thing for a year or two. Our dog trainer said if we can just have some good boundaries for the first couple of years, that will just help with the pack structure or something. But he did say that actually people with young families do really well with puppies and dogs because they've kind of already got their actual babies. So you can like have boundaries in place and you're like almost a bit more strict. Whereas if you're just a young couple and then you get a dog and it's like literally your first baby and you really baby it, it can be more difficult, he said, in terms of like behavioral problems. So we're not letting her upstairs at the moment, as much as I would love to have her upstairs and just like in our bed. We're just gonna like be careful for a little while, have that in place, and to be honest, she's fine. So anyway, I'm just taking the boys upstairs now to bath them, and sometimes it depends on her mood. Sometimes I'll put her in the crate if I know she's sleepy. Sometimes she'll sit here and literally wait for us, or she'll chill out on the couch as well. So yeah, I'm just gonna go and bath them now. Okay, Kiki, sit. Good girl. Kiki, sit. Kiki, sit. Pull. Kiki, pull. Good girl. Here you go. Kiki. Kiki, triple backflip. Kiki, triple backflip. So the only other thing that I wanted to show you is that we deworm Kiki every other week, and I give her half of one of these pills because of her weight, and I actually hide it in a little bit of cheese. I hollow out a bit, put the pill in there, and then she eats it. Well, the vet actually said just cover the pill in butter and then she'll eat it, but she's too clever. She would lick all the butter off of it and then spit out the pill. So I hide it in cheese, and then we also use this flea treatment. It lasts quite a long time. It's like a little pipette, is it called? She's trying to get into the bin. So Kiki, she can smell the chicken curry we had. So it's like a little pipette like this, and I actually do it when she's sleeping because you have to put it on like the back of her neck. So I find that she doesn't really mind if she's pretty chilled out, but you only have to do that like, I think it's every 24 weeks or something, or every 12 weeks. That's for ticks. For fleas, every 24 weeks, yeah. So quite a long time really. So today I actually do need to deworm her, so I'm gonna do her half a pill now. So I actually cut it, in half. And then I hide. I don't want it to be too big a cheese because I feel like she's gonna choke. So I put it like that, and I squish the cheese. Okay, see it's in there? Now, if we give it to Kiki.
She ate it.
Oh my god, she's not sure. Oh, Kiki.
She actually not eat it.
She's so fussy. Cakes.
She like me.
She's gonna try and get it out. Oh, she's like, I'm not falling for that again. Come on, it's cheese. Kiki, go get it.
She gonna figure it out?
I just tried to give her deworming pill in cheese, but it was like she heard me say what I was gonna do because she just wouldn't eat it. She was trying to eat the cheese off around the pill. She's so clever, but what I did instead, which I'm embarrassed to admit, but I just crushed up the pill and put it in a tiny bit of almond butter, and she licked it all up. But at least she's had it now. It's so funny because today in the park she was like trying to eat rabbit poo, but she wouldn't eat the cheese and the pill, which is supposed to be flavored anyway. But anyway, I think I'm gonna end the vlog here. I feel like it's gonna be quite long by now, but I hope you really enjoyed it. She's just here, so we're probably just gonna chill out on the sofa, watch some TV. This is sometimes when she has her crazy hour, but tonight she seems okay. I think taking her out to the choir thing probably helped with that. And the only other thing that I was gonna say was someone asked if there was anything that I found difficult that I didn't think that I would, and the only thing that sprung to mind was when we first got her at 8 weeks old, you couldn't actually take her out for walks until she'd had her second lot of vaccinations at 12 weeks. So for like 4 weeks we were kind of stuck in with her a bit because she was so young, we didn't want to leave her, but then we also couldn't really walk her, so we did take her out like holding her a few times, but I actually found that quite difficult. It's so nice now that we can actually get out with her. That's the only other thing that I could think of, but so far we don't regret it. We really love her. She's very much a part of the family, but definitely it's not something to take lightly. I'm glad that we waited till all the kids were school age. Personally, I know some people have dogs with very young babies and it works really well for them, but for me I feel like it was probably the right decision, and obviously do loads of research and everything. But if you have any comments or questions, let me know down below, and thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to go and check out Emma's channel and her video all about her puppy. And thank you so much for watching. I'll see you soon. Bye guys.
Bye.
I'm losing my voice.